Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT Science class of 9th standard. Dear students, in the previous class we have started the study of the third topic of this academic year, that is atoms and molecules. Here we have studied and we have know the meaning of atoms. Atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide. Atom is the smallest, very smallest and smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide. See, you can take any matter. Matter means the substance which is having the space and have the mass. In the previous year only I have studied. Matter means the substance which is having the mass and occupies the space. You can take any substance, but before that you should know. That is, suppose here this one is the matter. It takes the space and have the mass near about half gram or 10 mg, 20 mg, 30 mg or 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram. Particular mass it is having. The substance which is having the mass and occupies the space, such substances are called as the matter. There are 3 types of matters are there. Actually there are 4 types of matter. The first one is solid, liquid, gas and plasma. These are the 4 states of matter that we have studied in the beginning classes. See, solid, liquid, gas and plasma. In case of solid, see, the solids are the hard and rigid in which the particles are arranged very tightly. Yes, you can take solid, you can take liquid, you can take gas, you can take plasma. All these states of matter are made up by the smallest particle that is called as the atoms. Number of atoms combines they form the state of matter, the matter. The matter is either present in the solid form, liquid form, gaseous form or in the plasma form. Yes, all these states of matter are made up by the atoms. That's why the atom is the smallest particle of matter which is unable to divide forth. Or if we divide the solid into two, if we separate the liquid, if we separate the gases, they are having means we will reach that a final point that is unable to divide again. See what happens here: solid into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into like that. We will divide 4. Again, see here what again 2, again see what happens again 2. See, we will reach at a final point. We will divide. We are unable to divide. We are reaching the final points that is unable to divide. That the very fine particle, very smallest particle of matter that is called as the atom. That we have studied in the previous slide. Next, dear students, atom is the smallest particle of matter. Matter is of 3 types, that is solid, liquid and gas, and one more is plasma that is present in the stars that we have studied. See, in case of solid, the particles are arranged very tightly. In case of liquid, the particles are arranged loosely. In case of gas, the particles are arranged very loosely. In case of plasma, there is very much space is there that we have studied the special characteristics of the matter. Yes, the next, dear students, we have studied the discovery of atom. While discovering the atom, the different scientists they gave the different ideas about the atoms, and that the idea about the atom was begins in the past era, before Christ only it was started. That is the first that about the atom, the Greek philosopher they starts to think, and later the Indian at that same time Indian philosophers are also starts to think about the atom. That is one of the great philosophers, that is Maharshi Kanad. That is, he is going to divide the atom into, he is going to say the atom when we are going a state of matter into small pieces, and we will reach at a final point that we are unable to divide that matter, that particle is called as the Paramanu. Yes, that is given by the statement is given by a scientist or the philosopher that is called as the Maharshi Kanad and all. Yes, and next after this one, the other scientists they came and they gave the different postulates. Yes, Next after this one, the Greek philosopher, the famous Greek philosopher that is called as the Democritus, he also says that atom is an indivisible particle. Atom is indivisible particle. The meaning of atom is indivisible particle which is unable to divide. Yes, which is unable to divide. That particle is called as the indivisible particle, means atom. Yes, in Greek language. See, and after this one, Lavoisier and the one more scientist, his name is Proust, that is, they gave the idea of the combination, these number of atoms, the number of atoms combines, they forms the a matter, state of matter, the number of million, billion, trillion, quadrillions together, atoms combines, they form a state of matter. In these state of on the combination and on the basis of this one, the two scientists Lavoisier and Proust, that he gave the two laws that is called as the law of chemical combination. Law of chemical combination. In law of chemical combination, there are two laws are there. There are two laws are there. The first one is the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass means mass, that we have studied in previous class with an activity, that mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Mass or atom, we are unable to create a new atom and we are unable to destroy an atom. Isn't it? We are unable to create an atom, we are unable to destroy an atom. Even at high explosion, very massive explosion, the atoms will not destroy. But the atoms that will convert it into one form of atoms that will convert it into another atom. Suppose for example oxygen atom and carbon atoms are there, and due to the burning, what happens? That will form carbon dioxide. Isn't it? That will turn to the new atoms and molecules. One form, that is, we can say mass, whatever the mass is present, atom is also having the mass. Atom is having the particular mass, it is negligible, very minute, microscopic, we can say. We are unable to see through naked eyes, even also in the microscope also it is very toughest task to see. See, such a minute atom is having the mass. Such a minute atom is also having the mass. That's why we can say that we are unable to create an atom, we are unable to divide an atom. In that same way, we are unable to create a mass or neither we destroy the mass. That's why we can say the first law of the chemical combination, that is law of conservation of mass, states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed, but one form of mass can be converted into the another form. Yes, mass neither be created nor be destroyed, but one form of mass can be converted to the another form. Yes. The next, dear students, after this one, there we have studied one activity, that we have taken the two different chemical substances, we have mixed in a conical, closed conical flask that contains, see for example, we have taken the copper sulfate and sodium chloride. We have taken the sodium chloride, we have taken in the ignition test tube that is insert in the round bottom conical flask. Inside the conical flask, we have already taken the sodium carbonate. Copper sulfate, we have taken copper sulfate, and sodium carbonate we have taken in a test tube, and copper sulfate we have taken in a conical flask, and we have to mix. On mixing, what happens? It liberates the gas. When gas is liberated, the atoms will be escaped. So few numbers of atoms will be escaped. To avoid the escape of atoms, we have to tight with the rubber cock or the plug very tightly, and we have to insert the ignition test tube which contains sodium carbonate and the copper sulfate. When we mix the copper sulfate and sodium chloride on tilting the conical flask, see what happens? Both the mixtures will get mixed up and the reactions is going on, and meanwhile what happens? The reaction is vigorously moving, and what happens? It liberates the gas, and we are not let out the gas to move out. We are keeping inside that container only, and we will measure the mass of the container or the beaker after the reaction. There we find the same mass. See, in the beginning, both the separate components that we weighed, isn't it? Then we got the different masses, means same mass. By this experiment, we come to a conclusion that mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Isn't it? Next, dear students, after this, the second law we are going to study. The second law, that is second law of chemical combination. Law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion. The second law of chemical combination. Law of constant proportion. In the beginning only we have saw that the number of atoms, million, billion, trillions, quadrillions together, atoms combines, they form a substance. A small amount of substance is formed. For example, I am having a chalk. I am having a piece of chalk. In that piece of chalk, million, billion, trillion, quadrillions together, atoms are present. Yes, it means the atoms are very, very, very small. And the number of atoms, million, billion, trillions together, atoms combines, they form a chalk piece. It means there should be a combination. Energy means combining capacity. There should be a combining capacity. On which base they combine? Is it possible to combine in any way? No. See what happens here. The atoms, million, billions, trillions together, atoms, they combine, they form a substance. For a formation of substance, number of atoms has to combine. That we will study in this law. All the atoms, all the states of matter, whatever we are seeing in our surrounding, all these are formed by the atoms, and these substances are formed when the atoms they combine. When the atoms combine in a huge sense, then only a substance will be appear or visible. Isn't it? On which base the atoms combine and they form a substance? That we are going to learn on how the atoms are combined. Yes. See, Lavoisier and other scientists noted that many compounds were composed of two or more elements. You know that compounds and elements, in the previous class, compounds and elements also you have studied. Elements and compounds. Elements and compounds. Elements means the group of same kinds of atoms. The group of same kinds of atoms, for example, oxygen is here also oxygen, here also oxygen. The group of two or more types of atoms, for example, carbon, oxygen, carbon, that is a compound. This one is a compound, this one is an element. See, for the formation of a compound, compound means the group of elements, the group of different elements. The element means group of same atoms. The group of same atom is called as the element. The group of different atoms of different element is called as the compound. See, for the formation of a compound, water is a molecule of compound. What is a compound? In which two elements are there? See what happens here? Water is a compound. How you say a compound? Here the two elements are combined. The element means hydrogen is an element, oxygen is an element, nitrogen is an element. Yes, compound is a substance in which the two elements are combined, two or more elements are combined. That is called as a compound. Yes, water is a compound, hydrogen is a compound, C6H12O6, that is a compound. H2SO4, it is a compound. HNO3, it is a compound. NaOH, it is a compound, because here two or more elements are combined. See, here also two or more elements, three elements are combined. Yes. Then they are combined in a definite proportion. See, is it possible to combine? Is it possible to combine? Is it possible to form a water molecule with the help of one molecule of hydrogen and two molecule of water? No. Is it possible to form a water molecule by combining one atom of hydrogen and two atom of oxygen? Is possible? No. For the formation of a water molecule, it needs two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen is necessary. Then only a water molecule is formed. Water compound is formed. The compound water is formed. Yes, here for the formation of a glucose molecule, 6 atoms of carbon, 12 atoms of hydrogen, 6 atoms of oxygen combined to form the glucose molecule. Here, 2 molecules of hydrogen, 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur, and 4 atoms of oxygen combines a molecule of sulfuric acid. Yes, it means for the formation of a compound, 2 or more elements has to combine in a definite proportion. If they are combined in any way, then the new substance that particular compound will not form. If you are going to obtain a new compound, then that you have to mix the required elements only. If we mix the any elements in any proportion, what happens? You will not get the correct compound. Yes. In the laboratory, if you form any compound, you have to mix the required element in a definite proportion only. Required definite elements in a definite proportion or a correct elements are the required elements in a definite proportion only. Then only you will form the compound. Isn't it? Next, dear students, a compound of water. See, it formed by the combination of 2 or more elements. That is 2 elements like see what happens, they should be definite proportion. See, in case of water molecule, see they are combined in the ratio. See here the atomic mass of oxygen is 1 into 2 plus oxygen. The atomic number of oxygen is that is 8. That is 2 plus 8, that is 10. Isn't it? Sorry. 1 is to 8. They have taken the 1 gram. Hydrogen they have taken in the 1 gram form. That is 1 is to 8. Atomic mass of oxygen is 1 and atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. Atomic mass of oxygen is 8. Atomic number of oxygen is 8. Atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That is 1 is to 8. That is 1 plus 8. That is 9 gram. They have taken. In your textbook, they have given 9 gram. Then for the formation of ammonia molecule, NH3, that is atomic mass of nitrogen is, they have given the atomic mass of nitrogen, that is 14. Atomic mass of nitrogen is 14 plus 3 hydrogen atoms, that is 17 gram. Here in case of water molecules, 9 gram of water, when we weigh the 9 gram, in which 8 gram of oxygen is present, and 1 gram of hydrogen is present. If they combine in that ratio, then only the water molecule is formed. If for the formation, if you are going to form or if you are going to prepare an ammonia molecule or the ammonia, you have to mix the nitrogen and the hydrogen in the ratio, that is 14:3. In that ratio only we have to mix and we will get the ammonia molecule. See, suppose for example, if you are going to prepare the concrete to make a roof, see what happens, they have to mix the cement, then garbage, then the sand they have to mix, that is in a definite proportion, then only it is possible to form a, suppose for example, cement, that is for example 2 gases may be of 10 and sand may be of 4. That is, in that ratio, if you mix, then only it is for not exact, but round figure taking. That is, suppose if you are taking that way, it is able to form the concrete. Otherwise, if we take 1 in one ratio, 1 is to 20 is to 30, is it possible to form a concrete? No, impossible, isn't it? That's why all elements they combine in a definite proportion and form the compound. For a formation of a compound, for formation of a substance, the atoms they should be combined, and the combination is not enough. Along with the combination, they should be combined in a definite proportion. Then only it is possible to form a compound. Yes? In our surrounding, the different substances are present. In that substance, the atoms that is made up by the atoms, and that is present in the compound form. Yes, you can take water that is present in that is hydrogen and oxygen is present. You can take a complex water that is glucose, protein and something that the compound, the elements are combined and form the compound. You can take the different chalk here, calcium, oxygen and different substances are present. Yes, it means they combine in definite proportions, then only it is possible to form the particular substance. Isn't it? That's why the name of scientist that is Claus, that is he going to state the second law, that is law of constant proportion, that is state that in a chemical substance the elements are always in a chemical substance the elements are always present in a definite proportion. In a chemical substance, the elements are present in a definite proportion. Yes, always present in a definite proportion. Isn't it? That is, it states that you have to write the statement. In examination, you may ask, define or state the second law of chemical combination. That time you have to define, you have to explain. That is, in a chemical substance, the elements are present in a definite proportion. That much only. Yes. Next, dear students, after this one, still when that statement or when they stated that the law of constant proportion, there are some doubts or they had some problems on the combination of how the elements are combining. They still don't know the structure of atom. Only they know that the smallest particle of matter is an atom. The smallest particle of matter is an atom. They postulated it, but they don't know about the structure of atom, about the structure, how they are combining, in which proportion they are combining, what is the combining capacity of an atom and all. They don't know about this one. One of the scientists, his name is which scientist? England scientist or Britain scientist, that is, his name is John Dalton. John Dalton came and gave the correct postulates on the combination on the for the formation of the a compound. See, he put forward some postulates and he gave one theory that is called as the atomic theory. John Dalton gave a theory that is called as the atomic theory. In examination, he has to propose the atomic theory. John Dalton proposed the atomic theory. Atomic theory. John Dalton proposed the atomic theory. Yes. See, according to this one, John Dalton's atomic theory, all matters, either solid, liquid, and gas, anything you are seeing that is visible, all these matters are, see, whether an element or compound or a mixture is composed of the smallest particle of matter that is called as the atom. Dalton is going to say in his atomic theory, you can take any substance, any states of matter, either it is solid, liquid and gas, or any element or any compound, all these substances in the universe that is visible and invisible, whatever the things are present on the universe, on the earth, that is all these things are made up by the smallest particle of matter that is called as the atom. Yes. Next, dear students, he gave us some postulates that is atom is the smallest particle. He is going to tell us about the atom. All the states of matter or the matter, they are made up by the atoms. Yes, the first postulate, all the matter is made up by the very tiny particle, that is called a first postulate. All the states of matter that is made up by the smallest particle that is called as the atom. First postulate. Second postulate, atoms are invisible particles which cannot be created nor be destroyed. Atoms, see, smallest particle of matter that is called as atom, and atoms are neither be created nor be destroyed. We are unable to create a new atom. By combined number of scientists, they are unable to create a single atom, nor they are unable to destroy an atom. Isn't it? We are unable to create an atom, nor we destroy the atom. Isn't it? It means first atom is the smallest particle of matter, and the atom is unable to create a new atom, is unable to create, or we are unable to destroy it also. Yes. Next, the atom of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. The third one, that is the atoms of a same element. For example, hydrogen, the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.008 something is there, and here in India, and it is having one electron and all. In the property of hydrogen in India is that much. See, if we go and weighing the hydrogen atom in America and in England and all, see what happens? They are also the same. It means the atoms of an element, having the same physical and the same property always. We are going to say, see what happens here? The atoms of different elements. See, the atoms of a given element are identical, same, singular radius and all. Diameter of the radius same, diameter same, mass. The atoms of the elements. You can take the atoms of the elements anywhere. Hydrogen you can take here. The same property will get there in the different way. See, the elements in the mass and chemical property are having the same chemical property and having the same mass. Suppose for example here hydrogen, here suppose hydrogen is there, the same mass, that is 0.08. Then next chemical property is also same, having one electron, no proton. Yes. The next fourth postulate, that is the atoms of different elements have the different masses and chemical properties. Atoms of different elements, see for example, atoms of same elements have the same chemical properties. Atoms of different elements, for example oxygen, its atomic mass is 16. Here hydrogen is 1.08. It means the atoms of different elements have the different masses and different chemical property. The atoms of same element having the same atomic mass and atomic chemical properties and all. Yes. The next, come to the next postulate. The atoms combines in a in a ratio of small and whole number to form a compound. The atoms combines in a small and whole number and forms a compound. See, one hydrogen, two hydrogen and one oxygen combines and forms a water molecule. Small and whole number, that whole number 1 and 2, that is, they combine and forms a compound. Next, dear students, the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in the given compounds. Means relative number of atoms. In case of water molecule, that is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, that is 3 atoms are present, constant. If you are going to check the atoms in India, you can go in any corner of the world, the constant number you will find in the water. Isn't it? That's all about today's class. The remaining will start in the next class. Thank you.